Oh, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Premier League verdict. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and you're very welcome back to the Premier League verdict. It's been a while since we've done this and I'm hoping to bring this back as kind of a weekly series. Ideally, these will be streams kind of like they used to be back probably 2 or 3 years ago on the main channel. But for now, we're doing weekly reviews, weekly wrap-ups of the Premier League. They're going to be fairly raw, fairly uncut, as little editing hopefully going into them as possible. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on the weekend that's just been. And most recently this weekend, we've just witnessed Manchester United losing by 1-0 at home to Everton. Kieran Dewsbury Hall, the match winner. But this game was not without its drama, I think it's fair to say. Dewsbury Hall got the winner, but before that, there was a red card for Idrissa Gueye for a Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer type situation where he smacks Michael Keane in the face. The referee intervenes and he sends him off. Can you imagine that? Being David Moyes, sitting down saying, listen lads, nothing silly from the start here. We're going to a ground here today that, you know, they could do a number on us here, United. They're starting to kind of come good-ish at times. Nothing stupid from the start. And then Idrissa Gueye slaps Michael Keane. But like I said, it didn't really mean a whole lot else in the end because Kieran Dewsbury Hall with an absolute screamer to seal a massive 3 points for Everton. And it'd feel like a real chance missed for Manchester United, a chance to go into the top 4 and really kind of establish themselves as real Champions League candidates again. Because I do think in the season that it is, no one is really looking that good and convincing, particularly when it comes to kind of the Champions League race. I'd argue everyone except Arsenal is very flaky in the league this season. We will get on to Arsenal very, very shortly. But Manchester United definitely would have seen tonight as an opportunity, or last night by the time this video goes out, as an opportunity to break into that top 4 and make a real statement. But a 1-0 defeat at home to Everton is a poor look. I'll touch briefly on Chelsea staying second, a 2-0 win of course over Burnley. If you've seen me short, you'll already know my kind of thoughts on this game. Burnley started the game relatively well and then Chelsea kind of just kicked into gear. They get a goal through Pedro Neto and Burnley didn't really respond after that. I think it's fair to say they were particularly quiet. It's nearly looked like they lost their confidence in the game after that Pedro Neto goal goes in, and definitely they're a team that kind of need the home crowd to be on side in order for them to impose themselves on a game, I suppose. And once that Chelsea goal goes in, it nearly sucked the life out of the Burnley team and the Burnley supporters as a result. Enzo Fernandez got the second goal in the second half late on, arriving late into the box to get on the end of a really good Mark Guiu cutback. Really showed his strength well there, did the young Spanish striker. And it's a big 3 points for Chelsea. And listen, at the minute, you're looking at it saying Chelsea are the closest title contenders for Arsenal. Obviously, Man City went on to lose 2-1 to Newcastle. Harvey Barnes at the double for Newcastle to claim a 2-1 win over Manchester City at St James's Park. So as of right now, Chelsea are, technically the closest title contenders to Manchester or to Arsenal at this point. But I still look at Chelsea and say we're very wishy-washy, still very defensively sus, I would say. Like, there's definitely lots of frailties in that team. I don't know what our best centre-back partnership is. I don't think Enzo Maresca knows what our best centre-back partnership is at this point. The injury to Levi Colwill at the start of the season was always going to be a tricky one for Chelsea to try and deal with, but sometimes it's Trevor Chalobah and it's Achampong, and sometimes it's Tosin and Chalobah, sometimes it's Achampong and Tosin, sometimes Wesley Fofana's in there, so it's very wishy-washy, and it's a position where you kind of need 2 centre-backs nailed down ASAP. But look, I won't complain. Chelsea are second and it's the start of a really, really important week for Chelsea. I mean, by the time this video goes out, we'll be getting ready to face Barcelona in the Champions League. Hopefully, I'm not crying after that. But then next weekend, it is the visit of Arsenal to Stamford Bridge. And this will be a real test as to what kind of credentials this Chelsea team has. Are they actually title contenders, like some people are liking to suggest? We shall see. Definitely, if they manage to get a win against this Arsenal team, and like I said, I'll get into Arsenal next, but it would be incredible incredible. It would be incredible, but I don't see it happening. But listen, we won't complain when the wins are coming. You haven't much to give out about, and it's definitely could have been a banana skin for Chelsea considering the 12:30 kickoff after the international break. We've all heard it, but 3 points in the bag for Chelsea at Turf Moor. But there was 3 points and 3 goals for Nottingham Forest at Anfield. A 3-0 win for them, and really piling the pressure onto Arne Slot and Liverpool, who now slipped down to 11th in the Premier League table, and a lot of Liverpool fans are starting to lose their patience with Arne Slot. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Xabi Alonso, Steven Gerrard, Thiago Alcantara has been mentioned, Cesc Fabregas. They're already looking at replacements for Arne Slot, and I mean, if he continues in this veil of form, he's not going to be given too much more time, is he? And to go to Anfield and get smashed by Nottingham Forest, a side who went into this weekend 19th in the Premier League. I mean, it's a hell of a feat for Sean Dyche and his team, but it shouldn't have happened. It really, really shouldn't have happened. Liverpool never got going. Forest were the better side from the outset. They'll argue that the first goal, the Murillo one, shouldn't have been disallowed, considering they were potentially dicked over a little bit against Manchester City before the international break. This international break, by the way, just in case you missed that, we're now renaming the November international break the Troy Parrott international break, in case you weren't aware. But yeah, man, Liverpool in a really, really bad spot, and something's got to change from Arne Slot, or I do think he will lose his job very, very soon, because a team with the standards as high as Liverpool, a lot of people will suggest that he's got enough credit stored up in the bank. The fact that he came in and won the Premier League in his first season, that allows him to, have the freedom of this whole season to try and implement this £500 million kind of influx of players. It should be interesting, but with a club the size of Liverpool, the fact that they are champions, if they want to get anything out of this season and hope it doesn't go from bad to worse, they might need to change something very, very soon. And we'll finish off with Arsenal, and it pains me to say it, they look unstoppable. They really do, and I've seen a lot. I've watched football for a long, long time. I've seen some inevitable looking Premier League champions. You look at Liverpool even last season, you look at Manchester City the last couple of years, even if I think back from my own perspective as a Chelsea fan to Mourinho teams, Conte teams, that Ancelotti said, for example, a team that always looked like Ferguson's United down the years. They always look like champion material, and they look inevitable, even with the amount of injuries that Arsenal have. Gabriel Magalhaes getting an injury for Brazil in the international break, the Troy Parrott international break, and you're thinking, this might be an opportunity for Man City, for Chelsea maybe to maybe step forward into that title race. You might be noticing I'm very reluctant to say that Chelsea are in a title race, and surely you can understand why. But no, Arsenal come back and they replace Gabriel in the back line, and they look no weaker, to be honest with you. Now, Tottenham, it was the North London derby at the Emirates. Arsenal were always going to be up for it anyway, and Tottenham certainly were not up for this game. And it was literally like just watching a team getting ready to lose from the get-go, and it was a tough watch. And even for me, who doesn't particularly like Tottenham, it was a very, very poor showing from Thomas Frank's side. Another manager who, if he continues in the same vein, could very well see himself getting sacked. I know he's not long in the job, but some of the performances Tottenham have put in this season, they've been very good at times, particularly at the beginning of the season. You think of getting results against the likes of Man City, but the way they were playing in those games was very impressive as well. But they were very, very poor. And obviously, they have a far worse team than Arsenal on paper, so the argument you'll make is if they came out and tried to play Arsenal at their own game, it could have ended up being worse. But I think the worry for Tottenham fans was the lack of fight, the lack of desire from Thomas Frank and his side, and they got punished for it. And Thomas Frank, in the most embarrassing way possible, really did bait himself out in the pre-match presser. Who's Eze? He said. Well, Abrechi Eze, who of course denied or turned down a move to Tottenham in the summer, signing for their North London rivals Arsenal, and then bagging a hat-trick against them, just does sound like poetic justice, no matter who you support, doesn't it? I don't remember the last time a player scored a hat-trick in the North London derby, but there was some form of stat on Sky Sports yesterday regarding it. But what a performance, what a player. And I really did think at the time when Arsenal signed him, this could be a real turning point for them. But even still, he's probably blown that expectation out of the water even further. He's been absolutely incredible and now looks irreplaceable in that team. He's in there in that kind of number 10 role at the minute because Martin Odegaard is still nursing a long-term injury. Kai Havertz has been out for quite a long time as well, but Eze's just fit in there lovely and he's better than both of them. Gabriel, Odegaard, Havertz, Jesus, Gyökeres was out as well. They still dominated, battered Tottenham by 4-1, and it was pretty embarrassing. Trossard with the first, a hat-trick from Eze. Richarlison did score an absolute beaut of a goal, but it was irrelevant in the end, and Arsenal moved, I think it was 6 points clear, and if they go to Stamford Bridge next week and beat Chelsea, 9 points clear, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good. Nobody wants to see Arsenal win the league, apart from Arsenal fans, of course. But I have to say, I have to admit what I'm watching. And unfortunately, they have the look of champions, lads. Whether you like it or not, they are looking like a side that are going to be lifting the title in May. And I just hope to God that I'm wrong. That's where we're going to wrap this up. Just a nice little quick wrap up. And I think often with these videos in the past, I've kind of overcomplicated it with graphics and trying to make it this and that. Maybe just sitting down and chatting is the best way to go. Let me know if you like this style of video. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully Chelsea are beating Barcelona by the time this video goes out. I won't hold out much hope though. Take care and peace.